let's take you back. It was after week 7, I believe. The Colts are 3-3-1. They're at 500 with the one tie there, and I think they had beaten Kansas City. They literally had beaten Kansas City, who was maybe the best team in the league.
Yeah,
and Matt Ryan is playing he's maybe the worst quarterback in the league. Like statistically, he's still at this time has the most interceptions, and he hasn't played in a couple of weeks. He's got 11 interceptions on the season, multiple fumbles, or maybe it was fumbles. I don't know. He's got a lot of insane. He's got the most turnovers. Anyway, they're paying him millions of dollars. They traded for him in the offseason. 7 games in at 500, mind you. The franchise says, the Colts say, you know what? We're benching him. He might be hurt. He might not be. We don't care. He's benched. He is the third string QB. Nick Foles is the backup, and we're putting in the rookie or the second year guy who's never played, Sam Ehlinger. So that happens, and we talked about this. We're like, what the hell's going on? What is that about? Because they're at 500, right? Next week, they lose. Next week, offensive coordinator fired. All right. Guy playing offensive coordinator running the offense, forget about it. He's out of town.
And interestingly, I don't think he was calling the plays. I think Frank Reich was still calling the plays. But he still got fired. But yes,
so they fire that guy, right? A week before they fire Frank Reich. So then they lose again. They get blown out by the Patriots. Basically, did they score?
The Patriots.
Did they score a field goal? Or I don't even remember. Was it 29?
I think they did. No, they did because it was like that game. It was 26-3. I think 14 of those points came off a pick six. And like with defensive points, or they blocked a punt and got it to like the 2-yard line. So the Patriots, that was more like a 12-3 sort of game, like in terms of how good the Patriots are. But like the end score was 26-3. Yeah,
right. And so they basically just by the end score, they're making the Patriots look like a playoff team. And
most sacks in franchise history, I believe. I believe it was the most sacks in franchise history
in one game
for the Patriots. In one game,
really?
I think so. I think it was. But
wow, it's an absolute mess because everything is falling apart. You said the guy you brought in 7 weeks in, you decided, that guy's not the guy, the QB. We're going to take him out. Offensive coordinator, forget about that. And now, after all of this, we're finally, after 5 years, going to fire the head coach. So now, all of a sudden, after week 9, they're 3-5-1. Really, they're out of it because we've been watching them play. The fact that they were at 500 7 games in is just ridiculous. But now they fire Frank Reich, and then within a 5-hour period, they announce we fired Frank Reich and we are hiring Jeff Saturday. Okay, now Jeff Saturday is, for people who don't know this, Jeff Saturday is an ESPN analyst. Okay, so he does what we do, Jack, just better. Okay. he is a pundit on TV. He is a former NFL player. He played for the Colts for 10 years during the Peyton Manning era. They won a Super Bowl, and he has been a consultant to the team. I guess this year, where I don't know what that means, but he's been a outside consultant, which I feel like I don't know if there's a conflict of interest there with working at ESPN. But anyway, this guy basically is now named the coach of the head coach of the Colts, just completely out of the blue. So with all that set up, Jack, what do you think about this situation?
What I think they are. One second. This is. I have to wait, but it's going to be worth it. And I have to wait because I have to make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. I believe the Indianapolis Colts are tanking for Victor Wembanyama, the NBA prospect. They need the top lottery pick to restart their franchise. No, the tank. I was about to say the tanks. The Colts. I think this is a tank move. I think I said it last week with taking out Matt Ryan. I've said it one or two weeks actually. I think, but that Matt Ryan is gonna win you too many games. All right, it's gonna like not too many to make the playoffs or to be an actually good team, but he's gonna squeeze out a game or two. Put in Ellinger, blah blah. I've talked on that before. I think this is another. I mean, I think starting Jeff Saturday, it lets you. maybe it lets you they looked at, say, the Raiders. At the Raiders, they had a really good last season. They had a really good interim head coach. They made the playoffs and everything after Gruden, the Gruden situation. I think something I saw, so it's not original by me, I saw an interesting analysis saying maybe they take literal Bozo. He's going to go out there. He's going to run this into the ground. They're going to lose every game. Why is this guy a head coach? But then, because of that, no one wants him to come back. You don't have to deal. You can go out and play the Sean Payton sweepstakes. Do whatever. Find whatever other head coach. Hope that Josh McDaniels goes back to the Colts. No, but whatever thing. Do whatever thing you want to do. Whatever your long-term solution is. Put that into place later. And then you don't have to put that person in a really strange situation now. Maybe you want to get a coach you can't get until later. Put someone in, let him sit, let him tank, let him get you a franchise quarterback. Let him get you Andrew Luck 2.0, by tanking for draft picks. You already have 3 wins. You have to catch up in that loss count. You have 3 wins on the top. You have to catch up in the loss count. Tank, and then try to make it as wide open for someone like a Sean Payton as possible. Could be one potential thing. You have no fans angry at you, like at you being, if you were Sean Payton. You have a high draft pick that you are going to get your choice of, so on and so forth. I think that sort of thing. Potentially. Or they're just crazy. I'll let you. I know you have more.
Yeah,
more to say which it is.
I went to you first because basically you had said this before, and there's basically 2 things that could be happening here. And the most reasonable thing is that they are tanking, because this hire, like, it's not just this hire. It's the like you said, the Matt Ryan being pulled because he's going to win too many games for you. Not enough, but too many, like you said. Perfect analysis there. Then the OC gets fired before Frank Reich, but Frank Reich is the one calling plays. What's going on now, yes, Frank Reich? Yeah. Like, is it just because you didn't have that, like, that the guy, like basically the sheep? You didn't have Jeff Saturday yet, so you were like, "Oh, we'll keep Frank Reich until we find some dummy to take this job." Yeah, right? So like, but if that's the case, I'm not sure. But like, is this even allowed? This is essentially, if this is the case, this is Irsay coming out and saying, "We are tanking. This is full face. We hired a guy from ESPN. We straight up." Irsay said. He's been watching Thursday Night Football. He was like, "Listen, I'm seeing Sherman. I'm seeing Whitworth. I see Fitzpatrick. I see all these NFL players going and being pundits on TV. Why don't we take a pundit and make him a coach? How about that? And then we'll take the coaches and we'll make them players. I don't care. He does not care, right? So can the league come in and say, like, for competitiveness, like, what are you doing? Like, you're literally pulling your starting QB. You're firing your coach 7 games in. I mean, why didn't they fire him before? It's not like it's been like, oh, they brought him in and he was so bad. He was Urban Meyer bad that they had to fire him 7 games in. This guy's been
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, this guy's been in the building for 5 years, and now you fire
and you give him a mid-season fire. It's not even he's been there, your head coach, for 5 years. You've already fired the offensive coordinator. And then, I don't know. I think I saw something like that. Nate Silver and the NBA. Is that right? No. Is that Nate Silver? Adam Silver. Yeah. I'm thinking. Nate Silver is, I think, the 538 guy. There you go. I knew it was something Silver. But he. I think he said like they were going to be on the lookout for teams doing weird stuff to tank for Wembanyama. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But
hey, it's basically a football podcast. Don't worry about it.
I know. No, but that I'm hoping. I would be not hoping, but it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, if they just keep a close eye, right? Because that was something Brian Flores was potentially saying. Oh, Dolphins they were telling me to tank. Yeah. I think there was something in the offseason, so I could see them wanting to take this seriously, and that would be interesting if they take it seriously. Right? If they look into it.
Yeah, the Dolphins
Sorry.
got in trouble for tampering, not for tanking, but it
Yes.
seemed pretty
Yeah.
clear that. I mean,
But there was also there was a side controversy, but I think it wasn't the tampering that evidenced the Dolphins lost their first round pick. I think the other thing I think was more like a he said she said sort of situation.
yeah, basically the Miami Dolphins owner was like, "Yeah, I said we should tank for picks, but it was a joke." And like that's literally that was his defense. And Flores was like, "It didn't feel like a joke to me." And that's basically what happened. And
when your boss is telling you something, we should really do this. Ha ha.
And whereas Irsay is just like saying, "Forget about it." He's just saying openly, "This is my guy." It makes no sense.
Give me Jeff Saturday. Aliens have the ray beams pointed at Earth, have the death beams pointed at Earth. You have one coach to turn the season around with all the all-pro level talent you have. I want Jeff Saturday. That's
just now. The only other thing is, I said there's two things that could happen here. That could be happening here. The other thing is, Irsay has gone full Jerry Jones. Okay, he's gone full on. I want everyone to be puppets, and I am the puppet master. I don't, and I think that this could be true because if you look, why would Frank Reich have been there for so long? When basically, I understand, like you said, the way you were defending it, saying, well, they had a QB carousel, they can't have the QB and coach carousel. But I feel like he could have stayed for as long as he did because basically it was like Jim Irsay would bring in Frank Reich and say, I like that kid, Carson Wentz. I think he's got talent. You should bring him in. And Irsay said,
Wentz.
All right, well, or Phillip Rivers. Oh, we'll go get Phillip Rivers. Frank Reich says, sure, we can get him. Oh, we can get Wentz. Oh, you want Matt Ryan? Whatever. Irsay says, we got to go get Matt Ryan. He's an astronaut. He's whatever. And then he goes and gets him, and Frank Reich's just along for the ride. Yeah. And that's what we've had for years in Dallas. That's exactly what we've had. Basically, head coaches that are, hey, if Jerry says jump, coaches say how high. You know what I mean? And so
that's an interesting point.
This could be what's happening, where it's like, yes, Irsay has gone completely crazy and is just like, you know who I like? I like Jeff Saturday. I know he'll do exactly what I tell him because he has literally no experience. And I think this is something that we should highlight, that I didn't get into this at the top, and maybe I should have. But Jeff Saturday, like he's an ESPN analyst, but he's literally never coached in the NFL at all, any position. He's never coached college at all, any position. He has only coached.
He was high school.
In high school. Yeah, he coached a high school team in Georgia. That's the only coaching experience he has. And the press conference, I got to talk about some of this because this is crazy when I do this. I'm sorry. Listen, if the fans of the podcast are saying, why are they talking so long? This is ridiculous. You got to listen to, they have a joint press conference last night. Jim Irsay and Jeff Saturday and Chris Ballard, the GM, they're all there. And Irsay comes out and says, hey, we know that this might be an unconventional hire. And essentially, I'm paraphrasing here. He essentially says, but this guy has all the skills, all the leadership skills and the experience. He is a leader of men, and he is fully capable to do this job. Jeff Saturday agrees, basically is saying, like, yes, like I'm capable to do this job. Like, I have faith that I can be a leader to this team and I can basically be successful. I have all the tools, type of a thing. Fine and dandy, right? Literally, literally right after that, I got the exact quotes. They literally contradict themselves. Irsay's, first of all, I'm going to go with Jeff Saturday says straight up, this is a quote. I have no preconceived notion that I'm going to be some spectacular anything. I know I got to work hard. So basically he says, I have no preconceived idea of what I'm going to be. I could be anything. I could be bad. I could be good, whatever. And that was just a weird thing to say, but that seems like, whatever. But then Irsay just goes on his crazy stuff. Yeah. I mean, he says,
oh, is he?
He says about Jeff Saturday, direct quote, I'm glad he doesn't have any NFL experience. I'm glad he hasn't learned the fear that's in this league. It's
True.
tough for our coaches. They're afraid. They go to analytics.
This is you know what? You're making me like this hire.
He
That's
doesn't
bold
have
to say.
He doesn't have all that. He doesn't have that fear. That's what Irsay says. Irsay straight up says, "I'm glad he doesn't have any NFL experience."
He's got that dog in him, Jared. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. He has no fear. He's fearless.
Dan Campbell was a bad hire. That guy at least was like a tight ends coach.
You thought Dan Campbell was a bit of a hoorah, what is it, rah sort of hire. This guy's zero coach. This guy's there just to get people pumped.
The press conference is absolutely wild. One breath they're saying he's got all the experience and he's fully capable. The next time saying, am I going to be good? I don't know. He has no NFL experience coaching.
He has no experience, and that's a good thing. You should. Hey, other teams in the league, you guys should try hiring coaches with no experience. That's
this one trick NFL owners don't know. And the only other thing I gotta say is, you say, okay, well, you know what? Maybe we don't know something. We don't know something about, there's not a guy who basically, and I think Irsay said this in the press conference. He said, we're glad that Jeff was available because we didn't have anyone else. That's literally what he said. And he said that. Meanwhile, okay, so I'm just going to go through some of these guys. You've got special teams coordinator, 8 years of coaching experience. Linebacker coach, 44 years of coaching experience in the NFL. Offensive line coach, 34 years of coaching experience. Running back coach, 17 years. QB coach, 19 years of coaching experience. That's not even the kicker. Those are just guys, right? Maybe they're not head coach guys. If you've been in the league for 44 years and you haven't been a head coach, you're probably not that guy. Ready?
Yeah.
Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator, 33 years of coaching experience, was a head coach in Jacksonville for 4 years. Now, his record was absolutely abysmal. I mean, I'm talking should have been a head coach for 2 years. and then a year
but still a head coach.
But still a head coach. A year later after he left, the defense that he built went to the AFC Championship. This was the year where
it was that.
I
see.
All the way up before that, team was terrible. But then when he left, whatever. And okay, so you got that guy and senior defensive assistant. Now he just came in this year. John Fox, 40 years of NFL experience. He's a part of the coaching staff. He's only been there this year. Okay, but 40 years, and you know John Fox. Yeah, the John Fox was with Denver, head coaching Denver when Peyton Manning was there. Now, did he win a Super Bowl? No. John Fox.
That guy, yeah. I remember that.
John Fox was fired before. Basically, John Fox led them to their first Super Bowl where they got blown out by Seattle. And then I think Kubiak came in and won them the Super Bowl with Peyton. He also lost he also went to a Super Bowl with the Panthers, I think in 2003, and they lost to the Patriots. Yeah. You would know this.
Yeah, 32-29, close loss.
You got a guy who brought two teams as a head coach to the Super Bowl, lost twice. He's there. No,
we don't want him. You know why? You know why none of those guys? Because they're either too good, potentially that John Fox, they know how to do the job. And that's when I say too good, like John Fox, like the other guy you said in Jacksonville, whose name I forget. It could be like them, or right, they might be too good, too many wins. The other guys, even if pick one of the other guys, what if the fans like them, right? What if people want them? And I could see that just you're the owner, you can do what you want anyway, hire a new coach anyway, but you don't want the players and the fans and everything to rally behind someone, like maybe the Raiders rallied behind, I forget his name. I don't know any names. Maybe you want to avoid that. I don't know about that part. I think it really just is tanking. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's tanking because so I guess that they could rally behind Jeff Saturday. What if they go 500?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and you're in the same boat? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. If they're tanking, this guy, this. If anyone's not going to be able to put it together, it's an ESPN analyst with no coaching experience.
Okay.
I don't know. That's all my notes that I have. Really.
Anyway, on the entire podcast. No.
Yeah.
Anyway,